Hey, what's going on, yo? Now, the topic of this video is a black man who's an owner of a upscale, high-class restaurant out in Dallas, Texas. And apparently, he had, a lot of people ranting and angry at him on social media because, he kind of maybe spoke aggressively to the patrons in the restaurant. And I think he did that with great reason behind it. So I'm going to play the clip and then I'll give you my reaction and my thoughts on whether he was right or wrong on, calling out those women who were acting inappropriately in his restaurant.
I invested a lot of money into buying this building, into developing this concept so black people can have somewhere nice to go to, okay? Somewhere where we can feel good about ourselves as a... Come on! Stop the music, please! Somewhere where our people can feel good about ourselves as a culture, okay? Yeah. No, real talk. And so all this twerking and shit, take it to Prime, take it to Pink, don't bring it here because we're a restaurant. And so beyond that, 75% of my customers are ladies. And I want men to show respect for themselves for how they carry themselves here. So how can I tell the men to respect themselves and you guys are twerking on glass here? If you want to do it, get the fuck out my restaurant. Because I did it for our people and I did it for our culture. So don't do it now. Don't do it again. I don't want to hear it. If you don't like it, get out because I don't need your money. I need to provide something for my people. And don't do it again. Thank you.
Now, after watching that video, watching that clip, I don't think he was wrong. Me personally, I don't think he was wrong. Because anytime that there's a black-owned business, people want to associate it with someone getting shot, someone getting beat up there, women twerking, acting very raunchy, and what about those places for those people who are sophisticated, that are, melanated, right? It seems like we don't really have that. And then when we finally have a place where it's like a certain level of prestige and respect, the patrons don't want to respect it. Then people will say, oh, well, yeah, they were twerking. The women were twerking, but look at the music that they were playing in the back. So you telling me they're playing music that caters to the black people or to that young audience, right? So that means, oh, get up and start twerking. If it was a white business, if it was another business, right, no one else would just get up and start dancing. And apparently he said they were like on his furniture and on his glass table or something like that. That's very expensive. You can't do that. You go to any other restaurant, the owner or the workers there, they're going to call you out. They're going to tell you to stop or you're going to have to get out. So apparently he kept warning them to stop their behavior, but they continued. I can't blame the man. I can't blame the man if he put a lot of hard work, sweat, and tears into this business. It's an upscale business. It's not like this is a, hole in the wall, It seems like he put a lot of work and effort into this. And another thing people were complaining about was, oh, well, he said the women should know how to comport themselves or behave themselves, because then how can he tell the men to do the same? As he stated in the video, in his rant, he was saying most of his patrons or customers are women. So if they see women twerking and doing what they're doing, how are the men they're gonna think that's a club? They could just walk up to the table and try to get a number, or, it's not gonna be boundaries and a certain level of respect. It's not a club, it's the restaurant. It's not a social club, It's not a discotheque. People go there to eat. What if I want to take my girlfriend or a woman I like on a date on a nice fancy place, and I say, yo, you know what? Let me go to this black owned business, and then they start doing all this. That's not the environment I want for if I want to impress a woman or have a nice fancy meal. And then people say, oh, everything black is ghetto. They associate anything that's black ghetto. Of course, because people don't want to hold themselves to a certain standard. So that man is not wrong for what he did. And then women were mad because he was saying that those women should behave a certain way. But I guarantee you, if it was a woman that would have said that, if the owner of a restaurant would have said everything he said, if there were a woman, no one would be mad. Oh, but because it's a man saying, you know, this is what's going to go on in my establishment, it seems like everyone was unhappy about it. This is what we need in our communities, in our Hispanic, black communities, right? This is the type of things that we need. I think this was positive. And I like the fact that he wants to withhold a certain conduct and behavior in his establishment. There's nothing wrong with that. Stop being ghetto. Stop being a hood rat. Don't go to a restaurant, start twerking, man. Because that's things you do at a club, discotheque, or at a strip club, you know? It's not a place for that. There's a place for everything. And a restaurant is not a place for that. I'm sorry.